What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Get Technical. I'm Neil Hamilton. Already with the tough questions. Root or Corsair? Which one is better? Oh, Tiny Pie. Come on. What do I got to do to get that like back?
Tiny Pie, you better be kidding me, right, meow.
Guys, okay, well, you just gave us the theme. We're going to look at Root, we're going to look at Corsair. We're going to say which one is better. Let's see. This will 100% be in my opinion and not advice.
I've got some beef with Root.
So, boom. Let's get a line. Let's anchor it here. Get it going like that. Let's catch this wedge. That we've broken out of. All right, so that's Root. Now let's do a little side-by-side comparison. I don't know what Root is or does or anything.
I know what Root does.
It's in financial space.
Wait, can you hear me now, Neil?
Provides direct-to-consumer insurance products. Okay. And then Corsair, dude. Oh, wait, no, that's Matic. My bad. That is a cryptocurrency Polygon. CRSR. Corsair Gaming. On the 6 hour, let's put it on the day. Sheesh. Which one better? Very similar charts. These charts are... Oh, wait. They're the same. What is going on? CSR. Jason is here reminding me to attend a meeting that I'm often late to after the show. So, Jason, 10-4. All right, Roots. We're comparing a tech stock against a financial stock. Why same stock both sides? We need to get a hold of... oh, here we go. Sync on. Okay, I had the thing synced. Maybe. All right, Root, Corsair. All right, so these are both stocks on the daily. Removing all indicators so we can just look at price structure like we always should. I'm getting rid of my drawings. I'm going to turn off my moving average. Turn off moving averages on this side. I'm not even sure what's... Okay, so EMA 65. My moving averages are weird on the second chart. They still are kind of similar. So what you've got with Root is some very serious selling that it's broken out of. You can see the breakout right there. Boom. And then it's had its first... It's had two things. One, it's had its first... I'm not sure if that first one is a gap. Is that a gap right there? Not really, no. It's had its first big growth gap, its big explosive gap. Damn, was it big. And then it's had a significant sell-off. And then down here, we're getting some cooling off on the RSI. Also, volume is starting to even out with where it was before that big spike. When this happens, when we're coming out of when we're reversing out of a downward area, you can often get a second impulse and even a second gap before you get another big sell-off. If you do get that second gap on another impulse, that's time to drop the bag. So what I have to say about Root is here. Let's pull up the Fibonacci tool, see if we can find a bounce point, an area for support. Right now it's holding. Yeah, right now it's just holding on to this area of support right here. So this could be the bounce for the next impulsive move. Would not be crazy to see that. So yeah, could be a great setup. I would like it to be, I would like to see some volume come in for it. Let's go down to the 1 hour and just see what kind of structures we're getting. So we got a rounding bottom here. I'm going to measure the rounding bottom on Root from the bottom up to this little neckline I drew. And we did get full resolution. That's going to be this level. So another important level to watch for is about $13.25 for Root. So I would say that's going to be a resistance if there is a bounce. And on the hourly, let's take a look. The past 2 hours have been green. Let's go down to the 10-minute. You want the same thing on this time frame that you saw here on the daily, where there was the downward trend and then it broke out. We want to see this down on the 10-minute. We don't have that breakout yet. In fact, we just have a straight up downward consolidation, downward. Probably going to get some consolidation here, so we would want to see some type of pop, some sort of indication that the bulls are going to come in. But dang, look at this. Look at the RSI down there on root. Extremely oversold. Would not, because of that alone, people see that. Traders see that. Algos go by that. I would not be surprised to see the bounce at the current level, which is about $10.80, 10.85, whatever, on root. So there you go. So that's root. And so the task that was given to me by who was it that gave it to me? Somebody wanted me to compare root and Corsair. So now we're going to look at two totally ostensibly different companies. So now we're going to look at Corsair and see what we got going. Number one is, let's get this support in here. Let's be clear about one thing. What do we got here, Aaron? Is your audio working?
My audio is working. The chat can
Absolutely
hear me.
not. It is
I don't
not
think
working.
you. I don't think you can hear me. The rest of
too bad. I love Aaron's anecdotes. I really love them. The guy cracks me up. We went over this one. Do I like which one do I like more? I don't really like Corsair at this point. Let's look at the hourly. So we've been trading in this channel for a while. We broke out and immediately everyone took profit. Let's go down to an hourly. Take a look. Same exact structure here. I mean, almost exact, with the stairs on the way down here. Let's take a look at the 10-minute. Okay. A little bit easier on the 10-minute to get an idea for what a breakout would look like. But notice the difference here. Here's one major difference between these two stocks that both have big spikes up and then sell-offs. Can I do that? RSI. Very different. I would say that the overboughtness or the oversoldness of root gives me a lot more hope for the bounce than with Corsair. Corsair might need to consolidate for a little bit more, get some more selling volume in there. Yeah, really weird. Really weird. I don't know where the likes are right now, but you're pointing this out, William. There are very few likes on the video. I gotta say, if you haven't liked this video, you're starting to kind of make me uncomfortable. I think what it is I'm kind of embarrassed for you. So what would be good is if you could hit the like button and subscribe. And I think then we'd all be happy, right? That's probably best for everyone. So there you go. Jason says I have to pause the show if we don't get 50 likes in the next 60 seconds. So producer AB, like, I don't know. Do you want to just start writing stuff on a notepad and then holding it up for the camera so you can contribute to the conversation?
Can hear me. I just
don't know why
you
you're
can
talking.
Hear me because everyone else can hear me,
Okay,
but you can't hear me.
Using gesticulation to get his points across. So guys, we only need 3 more likes for the 60-second challenge. All right, nice. So guys, if I had to choose between Root and Corsair in terms of which one I think is going to bounce with more magnitude, meaning bounce higher, Root all day. Just purely based on, guys, RSI rules. If you're looking at, look, I come from the school of technical analysis where I don't want 50 different indicators because that's all just BS. All that matters is price action and volume over time. All right, there are a bunch of different ways you can convey that in helpful tools, but when you start to get into other indicators, you're just getting way too fancy. If you do that, you're the dude that shows up to the ski resort for his first time skiing, and you got all the best gear. Like you spent like 10 grand. You got like the boots with like the golden buckles. You've got like the best like suit. You got the goggles and all this shit, and then the poles are like you spent like $950 on those pole things that you got, and then you go up on the hill and you suck at skiing. That's what I think of when people have too many indicators. Price is everything. Price structure. So that's your candles on the chart. and RSI. RSI is one of those things. It goes in like sort of the purest workbook here, the playbook. So oversold means it's time for buyers to come in. And this level I told you already is meaningful. So the fact that we're oversold right here, bouncy. That's what I think. So root over Corsair. That's all. Too many indicators people use. Yeah, they do. They use too many freaking indicators. Like even like up here on my left, here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. I have a ton of stuff on the left here. I don't actually use all of these when I trade my actual stocks. I use a lot of these because every day on Get Technical, we have another trader come on to do their education, and I'm always trying to trade the way they trade. So these accumulate over time, and yeah, I'll touch on them and try to like understand how other people trade. But for the most part, guys, all you need is just price over time, your volume tools, and then your RSI, and then maybe in Fibonacci. Gotta have Fibonacci. All right. Anyone anyone that doesn't use Fibonacci, tell me what you're doing. I can maybe see just using pivot points instead of Fibonacci, but otherwise, you're not doing it right. I just spilled water all over myself. How do you find stocks that trade in a range? Imran, for trading in a range, I don't have a scanner or anything for that. Like, are you talking about like for a period of time, if a stock is trading in a range like this, which I mean, that can be a couple things. That can be forming a broad bottom, or that could be forming like a shelf or a flag for a continuation to the upside. I don't have anything that screens for that. That's the way that I trade. I'm old school, guys. I look at the sectors in the market that make up the market, find the ones that are emerging and have strength, and then honestly, I just use the sector ETFs. So like if I see that, so let me go down to just one, and let's say I want to look at steel, which we've talked a lot about on the show. So this is metals and mining. I'm going to look at metals and mining. Steel is one of the components of this. I pull up the sector ETF, the SPDR or SPDR, S&P Metals and Mining ETF that represents it. And then I look up the holdings of that ETF, which stocks are actually moving this ETF. And then those are the stocks I look for. And then I look for my favorite patterns. And my favorite patterns, I'll tell you right now, are broad bases. So the stock got beat up over time and is forming a broad base. And then I look for it to start turning up, because when it starts turning up, that's when you're getting in on a big trend. So you want to get in right at that turn up point. Like this is the sweetest spot you can possibly be in. The next thing that I look for is high tight flags, which actually occur if you're late on the beginning of that. You sort of get a period of consolidation here, which is sort of the range you were talking about there, bud. If you can look for that as another continuation, because oftentimes if you had a 100% move here, you're going to get a 50% move following a high type flag. Now, a high type flag is something that's very specific definition, which I can get into if you guys want to. But other than that, yeah, and like FinViz, I've used FinViz, TinyPie, for looking, like finding the patterns. I haven't really been successful with that, and it's probably because I didn't spend enough time with it. I think the best patterns, I don't even know if there's like a really good AI or machine learning or algorithm or whatever for picking up like really good patterns, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like sector strength. Like I said, like you want the wind behind the stock that you're getting into. So yeah, I don't know. In automatic pattern finders, I love the idea, but I have personally never been successful with it. I've always been successful when I look at a chart. I'm like, that looks like XYZ. Like right here, that looks like a broad base that could reverse back to the upside. And look, there's a huge gap here, and that gap probably is going to want to close. And in this case, it actually gapped right up almost all the way past it. So right away, I would look at that. I would say, okay, RSI is like sort of a middling range. This is 10-minute anyways. This is sort of the level of resistance we have. And actually here as well. We got like 2 levels. And then I would look for entries based on a traditional pattern analysis, like textbook stuff, which is, once you have your neckline for this sort of, we can call it a rounding bottom. It doesn't matter. They all trade the same way. Once you have your rounding bottom, you set your neckline on it, your price target is going to be the depth of the rounding bottom added to the neckline. And then we can see that here, I made that kind of too high up. And then we can see that that's just about where we hit. That was the price target for that. So that's really the way I do it. I think that the most seasoned and successful traders, they're not getting all funky fancy looking at blah blah blah. Maybe like looking at like options chain stuff to get an idea of what the smart money is doing. But I don't play that. I don't do that out here. Simple always works. I mean, it's just like, let's see if we can find one. Let's see if we can find. I'm happy to look at what stocks. Yeah. So Tiny Pie says like so FinViz, which you can tell FinViz like I want to find bull pennants, and it will just scan charts across the market for bull pennants. But you can use additional filters, which makes sense. Like, I mean, if you find, for example, like a bull pennant looks like this. Well, that's like so a bull pennant actually looks like this. So that's a bull pennant. That is the most reliable thing you can ever find in the market. Bull pennant's the best thing in the damn market. Like this thing, look, this is my personal preference. I like big bottoms, and I cannot lie. Like that's just where I live. That's where I've made the most money. That's where I like to buy options, because they are really cheap because of this long period of consolidation. And then when you get this explosion, the IV goes up, and that's how you make money with options trading. But this pattern right here, this guy right here, the bull pennant, I don't know what the actual percentage rate is, but I'm just gonna throw something out there. Like 9 times out of 10, this thing resolves to the upside exactly the way it should. So like when you get that bull pennant, you see it doing one of these. You measure the difference between this level and this level. So you literally take this price, and then and so you got price 1, and you got price 2, which is down here. This is price 2. And you subtract price 2 from price 1. This is terrible, but that's price 1 minus price 2. So high price minus low price equals your move target. And that's how high it will go from the breakout point. And it's just the best thing in the world. And you find it on every time frame. You want to look at Apple? Oh, wait, hold on. So let's go Workhorse first, because I like the V-shape reversal idea. Yeah, Workhorse. Okay, Jess. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So this is the 10-minute. Let's look at the day and just see what we can see. Oh, geez. Yeah, so I mean, Workhorse is gonna pop. Like, I mean, we hit this resistance again. We didn't get anywhere good. Right now, I'm not sure what this support is about. Let me use the wick. I think this is like a better frame for support right here. So I'm just going to put that line there, and delete these things. And then for that V shape, you're not talking about this, right? This is sort of like a V, sort of like a double B. But if I go down to 1 hour, maybe even less, like 10-minute, this is like some intraday stuff. Like this right here starts to look like a V shape. So your V shape, I've gone over this a couple times, and you can see this all day. If you're trading 10-minute charts, you're day trading. There's all types of patterns that we traditionally associate with swing trading and investing, like your double bottom, your cup with handle, your in this case your V shape that you see, and they resolve like every single time. So in this case, it's not perfect. So like with the V, we get red candle, red candle, red candle, little bit of sideways consolidation, big dip, and then you come back up. You form a shelf, impulse, form another shelf. That's the V right here. And you kind of got it. If I go on a 5-minute, we might get a better look at it. Yeah, a little bit funky, not perfect. but clearly it's resolving to the upside. RSI is in a good spot. Why? We've got momentum, baby. And what we like to see, here's another thing just to recall. I don't think I've touched enough on this in this show. When you get a big ass volume bar, you better see some big ass moves on the price. Because if you get the buyers coming in force, and you don't see that big price movement, that means that you got way too much overhead supply. All right. And that means like no go zone. Something is wrong. But if we get a big bar like this, and then we get a big strong move like this over 5 minutes, this is 1.76 in 5 minutes. You should be happy with that. I mean, that's pretty good. I like there are some stocks where you get significantly more than that with a bar that looks like that much above average. That's like 3 times average. But just looking at RSI, momentum to the upside, matching momentum to the upside here, bullish workhorse for the very short term, at least intraday. Hey, we don't call. Hey, listen, I got to talk to you about this. That's it. If that's your real name, we don't call GME and these other stocks meme stocks. All right, they're just stocks. I don't care where they come from, who's talking about them, how popular they are, which platform is talking about them. They're stocks. All right, so I'll do GME, bro. Very similar. So look at this motherfucking stock right here. So let me get this this young thing. And guys, smash that like if you guys are liking this video and it's helpful for you. Please hit that like. It really helps us out. It tells us which content you like. It tells us what to produce, and it keeps us doing it. So the support's actually a little bit lower. So there's a trader on Twitter that you should really follow. I'm going to put her name in chat. It's NARGIS. I believe it's at Nargis. So at Nargis Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's the handle. No, so that's not it. Let me get nope, that's not her. Oh, it's Nargis 007. That's it. She's a spy. She's in the 00 program. This is a good one to follow. I'm just dropping that in there. Follow her. You will learn a lot about technical analysis for Forex, for stocks, whatever, because it's all the same stuff. So the first thing that I want to look at with GameStop is, did this rounding top resolve, right? Because this right here, this is where the bag holders got beat up. And I want to make sure that the bag holding has ended. So the way that I'm going to do that is first illustrate the fact that this is a rounding top by grabbing my young arc tool. Boom, boom, boom. And this is just some classic big money doing a structured sell-off in a way that's going to allow them to optimize profit by putting by selling all of their shares to retail traders. That's what happens here. That's what causes this structure. So what we want to make sure is that this is resolved and that it's over. So let's do it from right about here. We'll treat this like the neckline. I'd say right about here is the neckline for this. So let's see if it's resolved. What we do is we take the absolute lowest point and we measure that to the neckline. That's called the depth. Or in this case, the height of the rounding top. It's the same thing when it's flipped over and it's rounding bottom. Then we add that to the neckline. Not totally, but I did just draw this really quickly. I mean, you could treat the neckline as something a little bit shorter. Also, it's not always going to be perfect. Yeah, but if I do a little bit shorter, so I just brought the neckline. I adjusted my neckline for this pattern. So there's a reason that I moved it, because I noticed that there are multiple points in time where GMA was using this price level as support. So I'm using that as my neckline. So then when I redo that height, the highest point of my rounding top added to that neckline, then we see that this thing is pretty much resolved. If we got the bounce right here, that's pretty much a resolution. The fact that it came so close, especially over the 10-minute or 5-minute actually. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. So here's another thing. this thing is right at the mid-range for RSI. That means that we're not overbought, we're not oversold, we still have room to go before a bunch of people are going to come in and respond to the RSI being high or low. So looking at this, the next thing that I want to do is use my Fibonacci tool. Why do I want to use my Fibonacci tool? Because I want to find the key resistance levels. Already I can see one right here, right? The previous level that we spiked up before we had this big impulsive move is going to show up again because that's how it works. And then the next thing I'm going to do is get out my Fibonacci tool, go to the absolute high. Whoa, that's not the Fibonacci. This is the Fibonacci. Go to the absolute high and then drag it to the absolute low to get an idea. All right. So no problem targeting the 0.9% move to 215. I guess the overall question is, do I see this as a okay entry point? It depends on how long I want to hold it. If I'm just going to trade it intraday, if I'm trading this until like 4 today, yeah, I would get in now. If I put it on the 10-minute, I'm going to use 2 just moving averages. The fact, so the 8 exponential moving average is curling up. We're in good shape. Maybe we wait for a little bit more price action to go long for an intraday trade. But this does look like this very short term downward trend is in reversal mode and on the way up to a short term uptrend. But I mean, looking at it on the daily chart from more of a swing trade perspective, the picture can be completely different, guys. I mean, it all depends on the time frame. Time frame also, I mean, on the 10-day, it looks like it could hold the support. Holding the support and then seeing a green candle could be really good. Just keep an eye on the RSI. Right now we have some bearish RSI. So we shall see. Weird song. Changing the song. I don't like that one. That one's the one that's got the baby voices. All right, you want to look at Wish? Wish? Well, maybe we can ask our special educator for the day about Wish, because with us, as always, on our special Tuesday edition of Get Technical is the one, the only, the irreplaceable Sylvia Bellrock. Let's bring Sylvia onto the show. Hey, Sylvia.
Hi, Neil. Nice to see you, and thank you for inviting me again. So
wait, Sylvia,
my pleasure.
I can't hear you. Producer AB, can you hear?
You cannot hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear her. Your
guys,
audio.
Okay. So hold on. We've been having audio issues today, Sylvia.
Okay.
So we are getting applause in chat, which is good. It's like a silent applause. Guys, give us a 1 if you can hear Sylvia. Give us a 2 if we're having audio issues.
And me. You guys can hear me, right?
Aaron's pointing to himself, which he does a lot.
Yes, I hear you, Aaron.
Wait, Aaron, can you just give me thumbs up if you can hear Sylvia? Oh my! All right, it's been me this whole time. Oh wait, hold on. It was me. Hey, Sylvia.
Hi, do you hear me now?
Yeah. My settings were wrong.
Okay.
Neil, can you hear me?
What?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, very good.
Okay, it's very good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you.
So
nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I saw your tweet this morning that the futures market was looking good this morning. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to that conclusion and what that means?
Yeah, it was a pretty good holding support, but right now actually it started to look bad again. So
okay.
It is going to be a little bit volatile. You know, we have tomorrow Fed meeting, very important, and I'm always saying, you don't know what my uncle Jerome is going to say. So anything can happen. That's why I'm a little bit cautious right now, waiting for this meeting to be over tomorrow. I don't think they're going to increase rates, but you never know what they're going to say. They might say something about inflation, something about tapering, if they start doing tapering or not. And if this happens, we might see a little bit more volatility. And also the whole picture of the chart looks a little bit like we might see a huge drop. I can share with you.
Please do.
And,
You were not trying to be careful with your words there. Let's see a huge drop. I mean, we've kind of been due for it. I was really surprised that I think the Qs hit all-time highs. I was really surprised that happened.
Yeah, the Qs has been actually very, very good recently. I had a long trade, and I am actually having still a long trade here on this RTY, which is the Russell 2000 futures, but it's kind of not working very good. Went in below my stop. I missed to close it. I saw I didn't have it in my platform, but now it looks better, so I'm going to give it a chance until the market closes. But I prefer to have no positions before we have that kind of events, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know how the reaction is going to be. So I prefer to be cash most of the time.
Okay, so I was going to ask you about that. So we've got this big governmental type of thing tomorrow that's going to that has the power to affect the entire market. So you're saying hands off until we see what happens there.
Normally, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, of course, if you like volatility and if you are aware that the range might expand all of a sudden, that's fine. You can trade that event as well. But for me, it's just too risky, especially if you're swing trading. You might involve yourself into some kind of drama, and I don't want that right now. That's why I prefer to stay away.
I like my portfolio where it is right now. Yeah. I don't want to lose anything.
Exactly. So here is what I see, what I mean with this huge drop, what might happen. Normally when you see this kind of a price action where everything starts to slow down, and then you see those tight consolidation, very small candles. So everything is very small, it's grinding slowly to the upside. And what happens a lot of times is that you all of a sudden see one huge big red candle like that, and then another one, and then here you go, your profits are gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to be careful a little bit here. And I think this can have two reasons. First of all, of course, the Fed meeting tomorrow, and maybe it is also part of the slowing down throughout the summer. This can be one reason as well. But for me, this is also a sign that you should be a little bit more careful and taking profits on the way up instead of jumping and chasing highs. So that's my plan for today and tomorrow until this meeting is over. I don't expect a lot to happen, but you just never know what they're going to say, and this might make the market to dump real quick. So
yeah, so we don't want to see those candles and be holding them. So
exactly.
So Sylvia, you touched on something that some of the newer folks might not be totally aware of. Since last summer was crazy, but typically in the real world and historically, volume in the market tends to decrease during the summer months.
Yeah.
And you need volume for price to move around. And that's how we make money. So Sylvia, I think that's an interesting way to look at tomorrow's announcements that are going to come out, is that they could potentially be the sort of the punctuation or the initial catalyst that starts the summer decrease in volume.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. So we might see, first of all, if we see some kind of a volatility or pullback, which would be, of course, great, so we can start buying again. But then after that, I do expect you to see a little bit of slowing volatility. Of course, if they say something crazy and start with this tapering, or all of a sudden come up with increasing rates, which I don't believe, but you just never know. Yeah. Then we might see more volatility, and throughout the summer, it can be also volatile. You never know. But normally, what you see throughout those meetings, a little bit of a a volatility pullback, and then again this slowly grinding mode throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we're getting someone in chat that says SPY and QQQ need to breathe.
Absolutely, yeah. Qs has been actually very nice. We have very nice pullback here, and after that, nice move to the upside. Tested here the highs, actually made a new all-time high, and now it looks like it is starting to reject here. So those are some signs we might see some kind of a reversal. Dollar is getting stronger again, so a little bit more careful here before we end up giving back too much.
Yep. And I'm looking at UUP, which is the bullish dollar ETF, and it does have some patterns that look like the dollar might be bouncing a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that looks like that. Yes. So let's see what happens. Other than that, I have also some stocks on the watch list still, of course. You never know.
Let's get some trade ideas.
Yeah, let's see. Let me just check this out. Okay, I have for today, I'm having here a watch list tracker for my members, actually updating it every day.
Can you zoom in?
Zoom in. Let's
I think Control Plus.
Okay. No, it's
or
not working.
Command.
No. It's working. Here it is.
Dankeschön.
Okay. Very good. So I have ABCB, BC, FOXF, and ORGO. Let's check them out. One of those triggered ORGO. So I have here basically a trigger point, exactly trigger price, stop loss, and targets. And this is more shorter term trading. So this means short term swings, which can be closed after 2 days, sometimes after 1 day. So those are a little bit different than what I'm normally trading for a couple of weeks or sometimes months. But this is a little bit more shorter term, and I'm tracking those every day and adding new to this list. So I like this ORGO, by the way. I don't know if you have heard of this one.
This one has come up a few times. I've actually got some drawings on my chart.
Oh, very good. So this is actually a pretty nice looking chart. It had a nice uptrending move, as we see higher highs, higher lows as always. It stopped here. We see here that at some point it couldn't continue to break out, which is of course normal. It made a very nice move here since 5 to 24. So this is a huge move. Stopped at some point, pulled back, and now it is still consolidating here and trying to build support around this, around this 14, 15 area. Actually, it looked very well yesterday. Today, everything is dropping, so this one drops as well. But I do expect if this continues to go higher, I do expect some kind of a move to the upside. So very nice looking chart consolidating around support areas. I like to watch that, and depends, of course, on today's close, and maybe tomorrow I might open a trade here with a stop just below, and target will be 20, around 20, and then the previous high 24. What do you think about that?
I think that type of chart that you just showed on ORGO, I have a hard time trading those.
You have a hard time? Why is that?
Because I'm addicted to continuation patterns on clear upward trends. Like that's just where I'm comfortable. So me personally, I have a hard time finding entries and setting realistic targets. But I mean, it sounds like you're getting an idea of one is the RSI is low. Two is you're getting an idea of where the support is, and then you have an idea of, because that's the support, that it might bounce up, or there's a probability, an educated probability that it will bounce up to previous resistance, which totally makes sense to me. But the reason I have a hard time is I just haven't executed many of those trades. So that's something I have to learn.
That's totally normal. And you don't need a lot of setups in order to make money. You only need 1 or 2 actually. That's it. And if you have found something what works for you, that's actually great. You should definitely keep that. So what is your favorite setup?
My favorite setup is just sustained bottoms. And then looking for the golden cross 200 crossing, or the 50-day moving average crossing the 200.
That sounds good.
Which it doesn't happen all the time. But I mean, that's how I got into Bitcoin during the summer. And that was very good. It's also good for getting into the beginning of sector rotations as well. So when particular sectors are coming into favorability, they tend to have that bottom, and then that's ideally the beginning of at least an intermediate term trend. That's just where I'm very comfortable. And plus, I like. What's that?
I'm saying that is true. Absolutely good to recognize. What else? What did you say? What else?
I was just going to say, so the pattern is often called a double bottom or a big rounding bottom, and I just like to make butt jokes about it, and that just makes me happy. So Sylvia, we're getting some very I imagine that these gentlemen are wearing suits and ties with fedoras. They're very politely asking if the lovely lady can pull up Wish on her chart.
Of course, sure.
So tip of the fedora to our gentlemen watchers. Sylvia's going to take a look at Wish.
Sure, let's do that. Oh, Wish, that had a nice move here to the upside. So I haven't checked, of course, fundamentals. I'm trying to combine fundamental and technical most of the time, not always, but most of the time. It is in a very strong downtrend here. Actually, it came back from 32.85 right into the 7 area. So this is, of course, a huge drop. I don't know if this is based on news. Do you know that this spike here?
I don't know of any news. Sylvia, I'm so bad at paying attention to outlines. I only work at one of the primary news providers for the stock market, Benzinga. But I'm so bad at keeping up with news. I just look at the charts. What I will say is that this one has been mentioned a lot on some forum, some message board called like Read It or something.
Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah. So basically, what we see here, huge, huge upside potential, of course, based on the chart. We saw a nice 2 candles. This was a red candle, of course. So if you really want someone to get involved into that on the long side, I would definitely put a stop loss here just below those moving averages, and maybe this might continue higher because of this move. If they continue, I don't know if that's a pump stock or whatever is the news over there. But if you're looking for a continuation to the upside, this might happen. But definitely I would try to use stop here just below those candles. This is like a formation of slowly curling here above those moving averages, reclaiming those moving averages. Here's the 50 EMA. This is the 9 and 20. And of course, this red candle does not look very well, but the market is not closed yet. It might close green. So if someone is entering here, definitely nice to have a stop loss just right below. So this would be, the stop will be in this case 940, around 940, and the entry will be 1090. So this has a huge volatility, and you should be definitely aware of what we are getting ourselves into with that kind of volatility. You don't know if this is going to dump all of a sudden, it can go up. So if you know your risk and you have adjusted size and you have a good risk management, anything is tradable. That's what I think. And if someone wants to get involved on the long side, it looks not bad, but like I mentioned, definitely use stop loss and good risk management and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so Sylvia, earlier on the show, I was doing my whole CMT speech on you don't need all of these indicators, you just need price and volume and your pure technical analysis thing. But what I think you just demonstrated is really good use of moving averages.
Yes, moving averages are good, I think too. Yes, I would not use them only as an entry point or something, but it is a good way to guide you. And sometimes, especially for new traders, it is not bad if you don't like only to focus on the simple price action and support and resistance. You can use them as a help. And also, I like this RSI here. So one of my favorite setups, by the way, is if we have very good fundamental looking stock, which has made some nice move to the upside and it looks very well, and at some point they start to sell off and go into the 30 oversold RSI. So this is for me a very good sign, and I'm going to normally I'm starting to long that, first of all, because of the fundamentals, because I like the stock, and if it is oversold, it means to me it gives me a little bit more opportunity to the upside. So similar to you, what you're looking for those bottoms, I'm looking for oversold, and this RSI shows you sometimes, of course, that kind of stuff, and you can find the stocks for that. But this does not mean that I'm going to, to buy all of a sudden a stock which is oversold and it is going down and it's a bad company only because it's oversold. Yeah. It can continue to go lower, as we know. But if we have a strong company in oversold level, that's actually very good.
So yeah, so there you go. +1 for the RSI. All right. So this is. I wish I could have had a penny for every time that this one came up, but PLTR. Have you heard of that stock?
Oh, yes, yes. This is
This is the first I've heard of it.
really?
No, Sylvia. Palantir, it follows me. Like I wake up sweating at night, and just Palantir is like written on my ceiling.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Do you have a position in?
I did. I traded Palantir back closer to the IPO. It was actually it was one of the best options trades I've ever made. Was Palantir had a bullish pennant, and it just exploded to the upside. It worked out
here?
Yes, and just worked out extremely well for me.
Nice, yeah.
Because I bought the calls, and like that was one where I was like texting everyone that I work with at Benzinga and sending them pictures of my portfolio. But since then it's been in like the sideways range, and we get asked about it constantly. So like there's been a few like sort of intraday shorter term opportunities here and there, but I've been unable to find like any indication of an upward trend starting. So yeah, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about Palantir.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I really don't like this stock.
You're not allowed to say that. They'll come for you, Sylvia. Guys, leave Sylvia alone. All right.
I know a lot of people are in this stock. I know a lot of people made money. A lot of people lost money. So this is really...
People like worship this stock, Palantir or Sylvia. I just called you Palantir. All right.
Yeah, it is. It is a volatile stock, of course. We know Katie Woods bought that, so it was a lot of hype around this stock, and I know a lot of those stocks have momentum, and if you are able to catch this momentum, same like NEO or all those other really momentum stocks which are making huge percentages of moves, that's great if you if you're able to catch those moves and make some nice profits on that. The problem is when they exit, at some point people are not interested anymore in this, or hedge funds, whoever is trading it and causing this momentum, they're just not there anymore. They're not interested in this. They're moving on to the next stock, and unfortunately what happens is that people are seeing this stock is dropping and start to hold. And the problem with this is that first of all, it is downtrending. It broke here below. Now it is trying to go higher again. It is here right around 26. It will test probably very soon 26.40. This is the resistance. Of course, it can continue to go up, but the problem is if you're holding for a long period of time that kind of stock which goes sideways, and I'm doing the same thing with some stocks. I think that's normal, but the problem is that we are getting ourselves in this case into a situation where not only that you're thinking of this stock, you're losing your mental capital, because all the time you have to think what is the stock doing, am I up, am I down, especially if you have a huge position. But you're missing on other trades because you're just busy. Your mind is busy with that. Instead of focusing on new opportunities, you're focused on this stock. And if it goes nowhere for a long period of time, this is the so-called, how I call it, cost of opportunity, where you're just not involved into making money with some other trades. Instead of that, you're involved into a stock which is doing nothing. So I have mixed feelings, really. I really don't like this stock a lot. And because of the price action, I don't like it.
All right, so I'm just gonna let you know there's probably a few people here that might disagree, and I'm gonna tell you right now, chat, behave, be civil. All right, we live in a democracy. All right.
This is like Tesla. There are people who love the stock and people who hate it.
I know. It's really weird that like the degree of tribalism that is formed
it is true,
in financial markets. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Because I don't want to get doxxed. Can we go back to your watch list again?
Yeah, sure. Let's check what I have.
Wait. Oh, and Kenneth wants to look at Apple, but like Sylvia, just right off, like without looking at the chart, are you excited about Apple?
Apple, well, I don't know if I'm excited, but it's always a good buy. So always something to own in the portfolio, in my opinion.
Oh, that was so boring. But
it's a little bit boring.
All right, it's true. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you had to choose between one or the other to hold for the next 5 years, Apple or Microsoft?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Well, maybe, I don't know. both. But if I had
You
to
can-
choose, maybe Microsoft.
That's right. I think Microsoft is doing more things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Apple was always sort of the perfecter of new innovative technologies, but I think Microsoft has a more diversified revenue streams and more room for
Absolutely,
diversity.
that's the reason. Yeah, that is exactly the reason why I like it more. And of course, if Apple gets involved and they're working on that into that electric vehicle and stuff like that, then it might be interesting. But for me, Apple is more like you mentioned, they're staying there for innovation, but I just don't see them right now putting more efforts in different products or something new at the moment. Of course, this electric vehicle, this might come and might do very well, but other than that, it's just, it is the brand and nothing else. And Microsoft is doing a lot of new things all the time.
All right. So we agree on that, Sylvia. All right. So what else is on the watch list here?
I like this FOXF. Yeah, FOXF. Fox Factory. I forgot what they're doing, but this is holding as well here support. So again, we had here this nice breakout. This was previous resistance here, tested 3 times, broke out at some point. This became support. And now it is holding here. So I want to see a little bit more green, and the entry point should be here around 146.80 above this candle's high, and the stop can be put just below. It is not 100% ready yet, but if it gets there, I'm gonna put an alarm, and I like that for a buy. So that's a nice looking setup, very bullish looking chart. Here it started 35 through the coronavirus. 166, and it is still holding. So compared to all those other tech stocks which went like crazy after the coronavirus and then started to pull back 30, 40, 50%, this one is still holding pretty well gains, which is of course very nice to see. And that's why I like it. I'm looking at it. One of my favorites for the week.
Yep, and to clarify for folks, that's FOXF, not Fox Broadcasting. It's Fox Factory, so FOXF. So Sylvia, one last one. We're getting this. A lot of people are asking about this TV show featuring a puppeteered alien from the, I believe, late 1980s. ALF, ALF. Do you remember that show?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I haven't seen this stock actually, but it looks good. Alabama Power. So it is an IPO. Nice consolidation, nice breakout here. I don't know if what is the news. It looks like they had some news.
It's a partnership with, I believe, someone mentioned it in chat here. So Mike Wisdom with the Wisdom. They signed a deal with Uber and Lyft to put advertising TVs in their cars.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that looks good. So of course, if it pulls back, would be much better. So if it comes back here around 360, but this might not happen. So what you can do in this case, wait it a little bit out, because normally when you have that kind of event, everything tends to spike. It maybe go on the lower time frame. Sometimes it helps, to show you some clear support lines. So in this case, will be 496. If it starts to curl there and make some kind of a consolidation and go sideways before it breaks out, this would be a nice setup. But for now, it is a waiting game because it broke out very fast. Now it looks like it's pulling back. So we need to wait out for a perfect setup, but it looks good. I like the chart, and this deal might help it out. So very good one. I'm going to put it on my list as well.
So, and then while you're doing that, guys, I think there's a great lesson there that Sylvia's touching on, that is that after an explosive spike up, in this case, an explosive gap up on some really good news, you want to watch for the consolidation. Don't chase. Don't backward.
Absolutely. That's how I'm saying, you chase, you die.
True. I've been there, and I still do it occasionally. And yes, it never works.
Well, it happens. Sometimes, the markets go up, sometimes very fast in one direction, and then you want to be part of it. And sometimes, especially in very uptrending, strong cycles, you don't have a lot of pullbacks, then you have to chase a little bit. But the problem is, not like that. You cannot like it.
I bringing back very recent bad memories. All right. So Sylvia, thank you so much for being with us today. Can you show
Thank you.
everybody how to sign up for your course? Would you mind going to your website and showing us?
Oh yeah, sure. So thank you so much, of course, Neil, as well. It was very nice to meet you again here and to talk with you about some stocks.
Hey, I'm just hanging out with a bunch of dudes constantly, Sylvia. It's so refreshing to have you on. I'm just so tired of my roommate, producer AB, that having you around is such a breath of fresh air. But this course I want to take so bad.
That is good. So if you go here to sylviabellrock.com and you just click here on free course and chat. So I have also free chat, but most importantly is the course. It basically shows you here what to do, and you click here on get the free course now, and it is here on this platform Podia, so you can access for free and watch it. And it is a lot about some basics, how to read the chart, how to use market cycles. And this is kind of the intro of the other version, which is the Bellrock Accelerator course. It is a swing trading course with more information, in-depth information. How do I find the stocks, which stocks I'm trading, how to use market cycles in your research, fundamental, technical analysis. So everything I'm using is in this course. So feel free to check out the free version, guys. And yeah, it is, I think, valuable, especially for those of you who are starting right now with trading.
So guys, get on over there and take the course. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for being with us.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you too. Have a great day. Have a great week, everyone. And we will see each other maybe next week again.
Hopefully. All right. See ya.
Okay. See you. Bye.
All right, guys. It's that time of the show where what the hell? So the delayed audio. Hey guys, I don't know why everyone's so excited about this stock. What does this look like? I feel like this kind of looks like Spencer Israel. Like with the eyebrows, just the eyebrows. Guys. Everyone give us a like, hit that subscribe if you like ALF, the TV show, ALF. Sylvia Bellrock rocks. Seriously, get over there and take that course. You got nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Why would you ever turn your back on success? All right. And speaking of you turning your back on success, don't touch that dial, because up next, I'm pretty sure we have another show. Is it Moon or Bust?
Nope, it is the BZ Crypto Show. So you got Aaron Thomas, Catherine Ross, all the crypto experts going to give you the lowdown on what's going on in the crypto world. Yep. Whoa, you're drinking all the plant's water. That was some of that was supposed to be for the plant.
And I want you guys to make sure you stay hydrated this week at all costs, all right? If you have access to clean water, it's a gift, all right? So, let's talk about hydration for a minute. Very important to your trading success. One more thing. Tonight we have some E3 coverage. Yesterday, if you were there, was the most scuffed situation ever. But we might have some of that. Yeah, this is just my big old jug of vodka that I just drink to get me through the day. At any rate, guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is Neil Hamilton. Follow me at Neil's Tweets, and I'll tell you secrets. Follow me at Neil's Tweets, and I'll tell you all the secrets. And Producer AB, let's follow Producer AB too for those workout picks. Producer AB, what's your handle on the Twitter?
I'll post it. Yeah, I mean, as Neil said, just lots of workout stuff on there.
Yeah, there you go. So you want those workout picks, those inspirational quotes. Follow us on Twitter. All right, guys, thanks so much. This has been Get Technical. Stay tuned for the crypto show, and happy trading.
See you tomorrow, y'all.
See ya.